Okay, welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. I do apologize that I'm a few minutes late, and AMD's stream is actually going to start fairly soon, which really stinks just because woke up a little bit later than I intended, kind of been rushing. I went to bed pretty late last night, but anyway, let's really quickly, let's see. Let's go ahead. Hello. Oh, okay. I am really sorry about that. I actually changed an output right before I started, so I'm assuming that's why. So I guess let's quickly start over. I unfortunately started this late because I woke up way later than I intended, went to bed really late last night, kind of getting things prepared. So I do apologize for that. We have just a few minutes before the stream starts, but uh, as many of you know, today AMD is set to launch the RX 6700 XT. Now we originally thought they were going to release the RX 6700 XT and non-XT models, but from what we've heard so far, it looks like it's just going to be the XT model. As the non-XT model apparently has been delayed. Now, with that said, the most recent news we got was on pricing, and unfortunately, it's not looking all that great. I've actually seen this from multiple sources, or at least a few different people are claiming this is correct. We're looking at a cost between $479, or it's an either or scenario, either $479.99 or $499.99. Now, I originally kind of talked a little bit of smack about this in my recent video, but I will say, upon more thinking about it, it isn't that terrible. It is pretty bad, though. I say it isn't that terrible just because at $479.99, the 5700 XT originally launched, or was going to launch at $450, but the 2060 Super ended up coming out for the same price as the 2060, and it was more or less more competitive with that. Now, with that said, their original goal was to compete with the RTX 2070, which was $500 at the time, so they were undercutting it by a little bit. But basically that messed up their plans. They had to lower the price for launch to $400, so $399.99. Basically, it's still a jump from that, but as long as it's very competitive / for sure beats the 3070 at that price range, it isn't too bad. But it still really sucks because it certainly feels like we're going from $400 upwards of either $480 to $500, which is still a serious jump. Anyway, moving, let's see, where do we have this? Give me 1 second. Here it is. Okay. Let's go back and let's refresh this. Okay, so I asked you a question, and the stream is probably about to start, but basically, will AMD's RX 6700 XT actually be available? Unfortunately, it does look like most of you believe it won't. What I mean is, by available, will it be available for more than 5 seconds? Most certainly think no. I would probably say no as well, just because at this point it's really gotten bad. Anyway, it looks like we are actually starting. I apologize for we have a minute, so it is looking bad. Once again, I don't know. It's looking potentially better than the 6800 XT, but the issue is that because so many people have not been able to get the new GPUs, gamers are absolutely there's just so much demand. That's really all it boils down to. So honestly, even if they have an unbelievable amount of cards, I highly doubt with the demand that there is, it's going to last. Maybe. Now, I will say really quickly, I do have a link to the RX 6700 XT for when that is released. It is an affiliate link, helps the channel out, doesn't cost you anything more, and so definitely check that out if you wouldn't mind, if you are planning on purchasing one when it becomes available. But let's go ahead and get right here. I have my headset. I actually forgot that last time. So we are streaming this right here. Yep, my apologies. Those talking about that. I'll turn it back up in just a second. Sorry about that. It's coming through my headset, so I wasn't actually able to hear it. But here we go.
A warm welcome to all of the gamers tuning in from around the world, and a big thank you to all of our partners and resellers who support selling the AMD Radeon brand watching this today. I am excited to be here with you and share the details of a brand new Radeon graphics GPU. We are so happy that so many of you share our passion for gaming. This passion has been going on strong.
There it is already. Wow.
Throughout these years, we have been standing by our core values of innovation and open standards, bringing you new gaming products and technologies, all while making them widely accessible. At its core, the video game industry has been about innovation. New technologies, new games, and new experiences are expected every year, so it should be no surprise to anyone that with the introduction of new processors, graphics cards, and gaming consoles, 2020 was the biggest year ever for the gaming industry. There were 3.1 billion gamers last year, which is almost 40% of the world's population, powering a $174 billion gaming industry. There is no doubt that PC, console, and mobile gaming is one of the largest entertainment industries in the world. Leading up to today, AMD has accelerated our investment in gaming features to produce new technologies that dramatically improve your gameplay. In the short time since we introduced our first generation AMD RDNA architecture in the summer of 2019, we pioneered responsivity features known as Radeon Anti-Lag, which enables lower input latency for competitive gaming, and Radeon Boost, which encompasses the input latency reduction of anti-lag while also providing performance increases. Anti-lag was available on all DX9 and DX11 games, and Boost was available on 8 popular games by the end of 2019. We have been committed to developing these features and have some exciting enhancements to talk to you about later on. In 2020, we pioneered AMD Smart Access Memory technology. We were the first company to seek out and popularize the standard resizable bar technology and bring that performance benefit to PC gamers around the world. We enabled additional performance in many games for our Ryzen 5000 series desktop processors and Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards. A lot of you have been asking us about support on previous generation CPUs with AMD Smart Access Memory. So today, we are announcing that in addition to the Ryzen 5000 series processors, we will be enabling Ryzen 3000 series processors to deliver the same great performance improvements of AMD Smart Access Memory technology when paired with an AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics card. We love coming up with features like this for gamers, and we have a lot more in store. Last year, we launched our Radeon RX 6800 series and RX 6900 XT graphics cards, featuring the efficient and feature-packed AMD RDNA 2 architecture. With AMD RDNA 2, we were able to hit up to 65% more performance per watt than the previous AMD RDNA architecture. Plus, we built in all of the latest technologies and features that gamers will use for years to come. The Radeon RX 6900 XT, RX 6800 XT, and RX 6800 graphics cards are truly next-generation GPUs, built to deliver full immersion in your latest games, allowing for maximum settings while playing at 4K resolutions. Today, our AMD RDNA 2 family of GPUs is growing. Towards the end of 2020, we introduced Big Navi.
Yeah, I'm thinking a DLSS competitor could be a possibility.
And now we are bringing the next step down in our product stack to reach even more gamers. We are proud to announce our latest AMD RDNA 2 GPU chip, the Radeon RX 6700 XT. Designed specifically to accelerate your gaming experience at 1440p resolution and of course at max
settings. Yeah,
over
the leaks
95%
were right,
of gamers in the world play on displays that have 1440p resolution or below. And not surprisingly, the 1440p resolution is the fastest growing monitor segment that gamers are upgrading to, with a 44% growth in sales year over year, which is why we built the RX 6700 XT to perform extremely well at this resolution. Perhaps more exciting is that gamers are catching on to the importance of having a high refresh rate capable monitor, so that your GPU and monitor can take advantage of every fast frame in highly competitive games. The industry experienced over 98% display shipment growth of 1440p, greater than 100 Hz refresh rate monitors year over year, which is exactly why we built the RX 6700 XT. Thermals and sound matter, so we've invested heavily in every exquisite detail for maximum results. The RX 6700 XT thermals are built to handle large workloads, cooling your GPU while providing horsepower when you need it, and is also whisper quiet when you don't. Each RX 6700 XT made by AMD features a custom dual axial fan design meant to deliver up to 50% less perceived noise versus previous blower designs. These cards feature the same 0 RPM fan mode as the other RX 6000 series cards to ensure the best operations in low usage modes. Underneath the cover, we've optimized the design around 3 heat pipes with fins held securely in place with a single die-cast aluminum frame. The cards feature 11 phases for high efficiency, high performance at very high clock speeds. To further ensure high performance, each card features 2 layers of 2-ounce copper within each 10-layer PCB. We use a high-performing, reliable, phase-change thermal interface material for effective heat dissipation and heat flow into the heat pipes. These boards feature 12 gigabytes of high-performance GDDR6, support the latest PCIe 4.0 motherboards, and standard edge-based power connectors. Last but not least, the RX 6700 XT supports DisplayPort 1.4 and HDMI 2.1 for the latest high refresh rate displays in the market. Now that you've seen what's under the hood, let's take a look at performance. We know most of you today may still be using graphics cards from 3 or 4 years ago in your PCs and are starting to see some challenging performance in the latest games. In games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty, Cyberpunk 2077, and even Dirt 5, cards like the NVIDIA GTX 1070 Ti struggle to get good performance at 1440p with maximum settings. Even if you have a more recent RTX 2080 Super, you will find newer games challenging on your GPU for playability. The Radeon RX 6700 XT is a great upgrade that would allow you to deliver high frame rates at 1440p with everything turned on in these modern titles. Let's also talk about future readiness. One of the reasons the RX 6700 XT is so great with modern titles is because we've equipped the RX 6700 XT with 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 to handle increasing texture loads and greater visual demands that modern games at higher resolutions and max settings throw at your desktop PC. Games such as Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War DX12 Ultra with high texture packs consume approximately 11.1 gigabytes. Dirt 5 in DX12 ultra high settings consumes 9.5 gigabytes. Horizon Zero Dawn DX12 ultimate settings can easily use 10.4 gigabytes. And my favorite, Red Dead Redemption 2, Vulkan Ultra 9.4 gigabytes. With the AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT, you can expect this new GPU to handle today's demanding AAA titles and those that will be launched in the coming months. We've just looked at how the RX 6700 XT performs relative to previous generation GPUs. Now, let's see how it performs relative to modern competition. As you can see, in games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Hitman, and many more, the Radeon RX 6700 XT competes exceptionally well. For those of you who want to try out ray tracing, the Radeon RX 6700 XT features 40 ray accelerators for full DirectX ray tracing support. But ray tracing is just one part of our visual initiative, and we are optimizing games alongside other techniques in our AMD Fidelity FX feature set to allow for a complete high frame rate experience. Games like Dirt 5, Godfall, World of Warcraft Shadowlands, and the Riftbreaker feature the latest DirectX 12 Ultimate techniques and AMD Fidelity FX to bring both high performance and enhanced immersion to more games. AMD Fidelity FX is yet another example of the power of open standards and AMD initiatives to improve the experience of PC gaming for more gamers. The Fidelity FX feature set includes a variety of techniques that sharpen, denoise, and add detail, shadows, and many more visual enhancements to make your games look better. It's a big reason why AMD Fidelity FX, with just 2 years of development, is already in over 40 games and counting. The next exciting title featuring both ray tracing and AMD Fidelity FX will be from our partners at Capcom. Resident Evil Village, the 8th major entry in the Resident Evil series, demonstrates what is possible with ultra-realistic graphics powered by the RE engine, and the latest generation Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards. The next generation of visuals for both ray tracing and AMD Fidelity FX really add to the atmosphere and experience these games are known for. Be sure to check out Resident Evil Village May 7th, 2021. As important as realistic visuals are, we know that competitive gamers who are playing esports titles today desire the best responsiveness, latency, and smooth frame rate technologies. Radeon Anti-Lag enables lower input latency, and Radeon Boost encompasses the input latency reduction of anti-lag while also providing performance increases in select games. And these features, along with AMD FreeSync technology, can reduce lag, make games more responsive, and enable tear-free gaming. What's new with Radeon Anti-Lag today is that we've now added support for DirectX 12, which means anti-lag is available on virtually almost all popular games. Radeon Boost is now enhanced with the addition of variable rate shading support and an expanded list of supported games that can take advantage of this feature. Your goal in any competitive games is to win. Let's take a look at Radeon Boost in action. When you're in an intense matchup, you want to quickly target and shoot the enemy before they notice you. Enabling Radeon Boost will certainly enhance your ability to win in a 1v1 scenario. We achieve this by varying the shading rate happening on screen during that character movement without noticeable image degradation. In the example here, we have the Radeon RX 6700 XT running Fortnite, averaging around 120 frames per second without boost enabled. By enabling Radeon Boost, gamers can get up to 150 frames per second or more when your in-game character spins to target and shoots at an opponent, instantly providing an increased performance at the most critical time. Another important piece of the ultimate gaming experience is having a monitor that matches the output of your graphics card. AMD FreeSync Premium and FreeSync Premium Pro monitors are the perfect pairings for Radeon RX 6700 XT, enabling low latency, high competitive refresh rates, and smooth gaming. Last year alone, we certified nearly 250 Premium and Premium Pro displays. With the high refresh rate FreeSync Premium displays, you will want a graphics card that can deliver high frame rates, and the RX 6700 XT delivers that easily in your favorite competitive games. The RX 6700 XT can easily drive the latest 165Hz 1440p displays, even if you've maxed out all the visual settings. Having the best hardware adds a competitive advantage, and by combining the latest Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics cards, you unlock the full performance potential of your rig thanks to AMD Smart Access Memory, Radeon Anti-Lag, and of course AMD FreeSync technologies. We're so excited to announce that our latest esports partner, taking advantage of this powerful hardware combination, is the Mercedes-AMG Petronas esports team. Their esports team has recently switched their gaming rigs to an all AMD platform, providing a highly optimized competitive gaming experience with the same kind of championship level performance as seen on the grid, but now in virtual Formula One. AMD Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics together provide high octane performance, responsivity for those hairpin turns, and the smoothest driving experience during every second of gameplay. The combination of fast reaction times with low latency is the difference between winning or finishing outside the podium. We're looking forward to seeing the team achieve great results in this year's upcoming competitive season. Whether you're playing the latest demanding games, at the top of the leaderboard and carrying your team,
All right,
or
here we
enjoying
go.
the latest
Price.
and immersive visuals, the Radeon RX 6700 XT is a
I
fantastic
think it is
graphics
gonna
card for you.
it's gonna be
Now,
the price they
let's talk
suggested.
about availability.
Oh,
The AMD Radeon RX 6700
There it is.
XT will be
Yep.
available on March 18th with an SEP at $479 on AMD.com. Demand for GPUs is at an all-time high right now. And in order to maximize availability at launch,
Wait,
we
it's
are
sold.
launching both
I'm getting-
made by AMD
hold on.
reference designs for sale on AMD.com and our
It's already
AMD
sold
partner
out.
designs at e-tailers and retailers across
it's
the
now
globe.
$900.
You'll be able to purchase the Radeon RX 6700 XT at your favorite website starting March 18th. Lastly, for those who do not want to build a PC for themselves, the RX 6700 XT is also available with the Ryzen 5000 series processor from 40 plus system build partners, including the latest HP Omen PC launching later this month. We are excited to have the Radeon RX 6700 XT join the 6000 series family with next generation technology advancements, future ready memory capability, and competitive software features. While 2021 is just getting started, so are we. Expect even more RDNA 2 announcements soon from us to expand our family even further. Until next time,
6700 on
stay
XT.
safe and have fun gaming.
Okay. Well, talk about not at all being surprised about literally anything. The leaks were 100% correct. If you've been following this channel, of course, well, you want to subscribe. But if you have been following this channel already, pretty much everything's already come out. We knew the specs. I will say the performance, which I'll talk about in just a second, that is better than we were thinking. That's pretty impressive. The price was exact. The release date was recently leaked as well. I think they said the 17th though, but I'll have to look at that just to make sure. But either way, okay, let's talk about the price really quickly. So $479, which was one of the two options that recently leaked. It was correct 100%. So people are saying, okay, sorry about that. Dang. It has just been one thing after another. I am really sorry. It's mostly from this rig right here. Speaking of, this was supposed to be closed and this was supposed to be turned on. So just to give you an idea of how terrible this went, I do apologize, everyone. I went to bed at I couldn't get to sleep last night until past 4 a.m. So I am running on fumes, and I woke up a little bit later than I intended and was just kind of running around all over the place trying to finish a few things. I thought that I had gotten everything fixed last night, found a few issues, so I have just been running around. I had hoped to get the stream started at 10:45, or 10:40 even, because I had a few things that I wanted to talk about, but none of that worked out. Like you saw, the setup wasn't even completed, and didn't even realize I had door open, so it's just been bad. Then you can also see a part of the side of the wall right there, which you shouldn't be able to see. So anyway, I do apologize, but with all that out of the way, the leaks were 100% accurate. 40 CUs I saw, but let's talk about that price really quickly. So it was $479, which was on the lower end of the two options that we saw. And I will say that I do believe okay, so when I originally posted the video a couple days ago, when that leak came out, I was pretty shocked. And the reason why is just because I still think of the 6700, 5700 series more or less competing with the 60 series. And the reason I feel that way, and I know it isn't necessarily true, but it's just kind of like in my head, is because when it launched, it ultimately competed with the 2060 Super. But it was intended to compete with the 2070, hence why it was the 5700 XT. The issue is that right at that time, right before they launched it, NVIDIA announced their supercards. And because of that, the 5700 XT was actually meant to go on sale for an MSRP of $450. But they ended up lowering that price. I believe it was $400 to $399.99. And that was specifically because it was now competing with the 2060 Super. That was the same price as the 2060. Well, as you saw here, it does look fairly competitive against the 3070. Though I will, let's see. Though I will say the one issue, and hopefully I'll be able to like try this out just to see. The one thing is that you did see how close that 3060 Ti. Right now, the 3060 Ti really looks like the great buy if you could buy it. Just because it's so close, yet it's $100 cheaper. But now I will say they showed the 6700 XT actually beating the 3070 quite a bit, yet it's a little less. So ultimately, it's not that bad of a price. I really wish that it was more like $450, but the simple fact is that it is competing with the 3070, which is a $500 card, for a little bit less. So the pricing isn't as bad as I had originally thought, but it's also not great. Especially when we compare it to the 3060 Ti. Now, that is to say, if any of these cards were out in the sense that anyone could go and buy it for a price anywhere near that, well, as most of you know, you can't. And as I said earlier, I've already gotten word that they're sold out. No, they're not. They're coming out on the 18th, but I have no doubt they're probably going to sell out really quickly. With that said, if you are interested, make sure to check out the link in the description, just because you're going to have to be there the second that they come out, and I will keep everyone updated. It's probably going to be like most recent launches, probably going to be around 9 a.m. Eastern time, though the 3060 kind of changed that up a little bit, but that's probably when it's going to be. So look out for that. I'll try and let everyone know. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, that's it. It was super quick. I think the stream was only like 20 minutes. Pretty much positive that it was, it was all pre-recorded and things like that. So very short, very quick, but also short, sweet, and to the point. Now, really quickly though, before I go, I do want to say the one thing to think about too is that they still didn't announce a DLSS competitor. Now, I know that a lot of people are back and forth about this. I do understand, no matter what people say, it still is upscaling. Yes, it's using artificial intelligence to do it, but it is what it is. There are some issues, but with that said, because of how it uses it, it looks way better than any past upscaling. So it isn't fully comparable to that, but it is what it is. So it is upscaling still. But the fact that AMD didn't release that is, I'm a little bit nervous about it. But one thing that I am excited about is that it does look like the upcoming Resident Evil game may have partnered with AMD to really bring ray tracing specifically with AMD in mind. And that's really big because I do think that game is really going to show us what AMD's new RX 6000 series can do with ray tracing. So I think that's going to be something really big to see because, you know, this whole time, all games have really been built from the ground up for NVIDIA. It's a fact. So, of course, the issue is that they have also been built with Microsoft's DirectX 12 Ultra. I think it's Ultra. Anyway, their DirectX 12. So it should still work fairly decently, but clearly and obviously things have been well optimized for NVIDIA. So I'm really excited to see this. Maybe it is more on par with NVIDIA than we thought, since we've mostly been comparing things that are more or less built from the ground up for NVIDIA, even though they are DirectX 12 compatible. So anyway, and some people are talking about the price is bad because the demand is going to drive up the price. I definitely get that point. 100%. I fully understand that point. But you really can't look at that because the MSRP is important, because if demand, if supply is ever caught up to demand anytime soon, that price will go down. So I mean, the MSRP is still important. Will it probably release for more with these with the AIB partners? Yeah, probably. Hopefully AMD will be selling their reference maybe on their website. That way it would be essentially guaranteed for that. So anyway, let's see. So we do have a question. Thanks so much. Let's see. Talking about pre-built, that is an option. As long as the price is right. I do know that they're trying to get cards to pre-builds. They even mentioned it in the stream, and that is an option. That's absolutely something that I know that they're trying to do. And they will be getting the cards first and at a reasonable price, so they're able to sell it for essentially what you would expect to see if you bought MSRP, though it is a pre-build, so it is a little bit more. But anyway, I'm probably going to be doing a really quick deep dive into this in a couple hours or so. I should have it live, but thanks so much for coming. I do apologize. The stream started out so terrible. Like I said, I woke up later than I expected because I went to bed super late last night, and I was actually really working on a bunch of cool little things for this that just kind of messed up. So major issues. Once again, I'm sorry about that, but as always, have a great day. Thanks so much for coming. Or, okay, it goes, thanks so much for coming. Have a great day.